Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem, Wakar Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. Shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. I say shalom to you Akim out there. And this is a lesson, sit-down lesson on this September the 15th, 2022, 11:21 a.m. Central Standard Time on this Thursday morning in the a.m. And I'm about to do a sit-down lesson through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of the Yahweh Shai for today. And this is a news article, was recently from RT.com, world news, alternative news around the world from RT. And this was published on September 15, 2022. The highlight of this news article, and it reads in the news for today is Washington raised Taiwan stakes. It says the U.S. Senate proposed would give Taipei $4.5 billion in weapons and back membership in international bodies. A bill that would commit $4.5 billion in U.S. weapons for the Taiwan defense and Taiwan promote Taipei's membership in an international organization. Among other things, cleared the Senate Foreign Relations Committee on Wednesday in a 7-5 vote. The Taiwan Policy Act comes after weeks of escalating tensions between Washington and Beijing that started with House Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan. The bill is aimed to reinforce U.S. policy towards Taiwan in order to maintain a stable cross-strait targeting Senator Bob Menendez, the New York Democrat who chairs the committee, said, accusing China of a campaign to underline the status quo. Oh wow, this really gonna build up tensions even more now, because I mentioned yesterday in my video I mentioned about the situation about with the Taiwan-China situation over the island over there. Since China is under that one China policy law, now the United States enacting their type of law of this bill that they about to pass. I believe it was a 17-5 vote. So that's going to stir the tensions even more and more between China and the United States, because China doesn't want U.S. get involved with the China and Taiwan situation. So that makes the situation even more worse. So they're going to stir up more tensions and more hostility between Beijing and Washington and China and the United States over the China-Taiwan situation. That's going to build up more tensions. Now you got the United States. I think this is the second or third attempt that they giving Taiwan all this money to fund them for military assistance and many other things as well too, as they potentially pass this bill, as they up the states on sending Taiwan heavy military arms and many other things as well too. But continuing on with the reading, the most comprehensive revamp of U.S.-Taiwan policy is more than 4 decades. As Politico described it, would authorize a $4.5 billion in direct military assistance to Taipei to bolster its sovereignty by encouraging its membership in an international organization. Menendez and his co-sponsors, South Carolina Liz Graham, insists this does not go against officials U.S. spies on the one China policy. I think it does. Because that makes China more angry about the situation once they hear about this situation. But continue on reading. Menendez rejected the argument that the bill would stoke tensions with Beijing, which it will. It will stir up more and more tensions than it already is, saying that this is instead carefully and strategically lowering the existential threats facing Taiwan by raising the cost of taking the island by force so that it becomes too high a risk and unachievable. The bill gives Chinese President Xi Jinping reasons to think twice of invading Taiwan. Jim Richard of Idaho. I mean, it still want to make a difference. If they want to invade it, the economic thing is not going to stop in that way. More military spending to help Taiwan, that's not going to make a difference. So I don't know what he's talking about. We'll continue on with the reading. It says a leading Republican of the committee said organic Democratic Jeff Merkley said that if the U.S. doesn't crank up the support for Taiwan, there will be a military offense by China against the island. Kentucky Republican Ron Paul voted against the bill, said it was not a time to radically change a long-standing policy without appreciation of potential consequences. Hawaii Democratic Brian Skisser also voted no, saying the talk of symbolizing of sovereignty may iterate China without the use of getting anything out of it. And it says Utah Republican Mitt Romney called the bill a hyper-proactive and bellicose vote for anyway. According to the Political, it remains unclear whether Congress will pass the bill before the end of the year, or even if Biden will sign in it. Beijing is formally opposing to the Taiwan's Policy Act. The China Foreign Minister spokesperson Ning told reporters early on Wednesday. Mail added that the One China policy is the political foundation of relations between Beijing and Washington, and only by handling the Taiwan-related issues permanently and properly can further damage prevent the U.S.-China relations. It doesn't make any difference because the China and United States relations it's not so good. It's going to get even more worse. Now, if this potentially bill get passed by the Congress and Joe Biden signs it, that stirs up more and more tension between Beijing and Washington and the United States and China. It's just going to further more the tensions. Because as China warned to the United States, stay out of their business. Stay out of Taiwan and United States business. Stay out of China and Taiwan business, the U.S.-Taiwan situation. Because the United States dipping their nose into something that they supposed to not be getting involved with. Even if they supposedly want to be full official allies with Taiwan to protect them from the potential China invasion. Hey, that China and Taiwan situation, that's their business, So if the United States goes on with this deal, that's just going to further more escalations, it's going to further more tensions between United States and China. And that relationship between the United States and China is going to get more rockier than ever. And it's going to continue to stir more tensions between the two. As if, if this goes through, potentially, and if so, that's going to stir the tensions even more. That's going to make China even more mad at the United States. Beijing more mad at the United States and Washington combined, This is the book of Matthew 24:6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nations, kingdom against kingdoms, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Right, because these nations are going to rise up against one another. If it's not automatically direct war towards one another, best believe it's a vocal type war, a negotiation type war, an economic type war, a political type war. It could be many different types of wars. It'd be commotions and words exchanged towards one another's, economic negotiations, military negotiations. That could start tensions in many different ways, you know. So yeah, these are rumors of wars, nation against nations on many different levels against one another. These things are going to increase. Now, if the United States push on further as they ante up the sales price, the money price of assisting Taiwan with this heavy military assistance, because $4.5 billion, that's a lot of money on military aid. It's already enough that the United States funded the Ukrainian soldiers with all that military money. I believe throughout that whole Ukraine war, I believe the United States funded Ukraine military soldiers for military assistance. I believe they funded them at least like over $100 billion, which is a heck of a lot of money. Now they up in the ante of a potential proposal of a $4.5 billion assistance to Taiwan. And, you know, that's going to further piss off. That's further going to get China even more angry at the United States, and their relations are going to get more rockier and at a downhill as well too. You know, because you're going to see that continual increase of tensions between Beijing versus Washington and China versus the United States. Those relations is going to increase the tensions even more further than ever, you know. So you're going to see these similar incidents and situations like this on the news on an everyday basis, because that potential China invasion of Taiwan, you know, it's going to happen very soon, but we don't know when though. But it's getting close to that, especially had the actions happen in the past 2 months, from July all the way until now, you know. So those tensions are definitely going to build up more than ever. So with that, I hope this sit-down lesson was edifying through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy. Yahweh Yahushua. And first and foremost, I like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushua Ba'ashem, Wakakadash. And double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And until next time, I will say shalom and the ball.